Appreciate you, Island Breeze, for the gifts. Appreciate you. So, hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Curations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. I am the Bass Negus. I definitely appreciate y'all hanging out with me. What's going on, bro, over on YouTube? What's going on, Joe? Appreciate you. So, today we're doing a comparison between the Meris MercuryX, which is just the most flexible reverb pedal I've ever played, and some of the best sounding reverb algorithms I've ever played as well, against the Line 6 HX1, right? So, which also has some of the best reverb algorithms pedal. You know, for it to be a multi-effects pedal, Line 6 did a great job with the reverbs. And just a side note, the same guy that designed the MercuryX, a lot of the algorithms and stuff, used to work for Line 6. So, that is what it is. So he might have had a hand in creating some of those, seeing how he is a genius when it comes to this type of stuff. So that was the MercuryX. I'm going to do, just use one of the stock patches to kind of compare first with the MercuryX. And I'm going to start with my preset, my shimmer preset for the HX1. start there. Matter of fact, we'll start with this is my bass sound in general at the moment. Let's do this. So that'd be where we're starting at. Right now, all you're hearing is the Empress compressor. And the ToneX one, which is, well, let me switch over to the pedal board view here. And you'll see you have the ToneX one here. This is the signature bass series. And I have the regular ToneX one as well. So definitely I recommend them. You know, ToneX for sure if you are looking for the best amp models and to get to the, you know what I'm saying, a pedal you can have an all-in-one pedal just to run to rehearsals or do quick gigs or whatever the case. ToneX one would definitely be a great option for you. So make sure you check that out in the description. And it also helps out the channel when you buy through that link in the description. So definitely check out the ToneX one. But it's running a Colorbox, JHS Colorbox V2 tone model that I created for my chordal playing, which is a 1073 style preamp. So, all right, let's hear a little shimmer in there. So that's one of my favorite reverbs on the HX1. You know, I find it to be, you know, that's a very good shimmer reverb. That's the, you know. So right now I added the Hog 2 and the Male 9 to the mix there. So without it, this is what it sounds like without the HX1. Right? Doesn't have all that extra tail to it. HX1. And that's also, I'm also manipulating the flux button here with the MIDI captain on the floor. So I have the MIDI one of the MIDI captain foot switches, which is a MIDI controller. I have one of the foot switches mapped to the flux parameter here, which is normally triggered by this, but I like to keep my keyboard, my pedal board up like this on a stand, just because it makes it easier for me to reach the parameters and make preset packs and things like that. However, I still want to be able to use the foot switches, so I typically map things like the hold modifiers, flux, the freeze gliss on the Hog 2. I map all that to MIDI switches on the floor, so you're partially hearing me freeze and manipulate things, and you're partially just hearing the way the preset sounds. So basically, without the flux on, I have more of a regular reverb there. Flux kind of use some more of my extreme settings of that effect. More extreme version of that. So what this ultimately allows me to do is to have, in real time, pretty much have two presets that it morphs between, from there to there. And notice it takes, when it's morphing to the more extreme setting, it's taking a little bit longer to morph between the settings versus when I click when I click it again, it's almost immediate that it switches back to the first preset, without the flux on. And that's important for me. I like the fact that the HX1 allows you to have an on-time curve, basically how long it takes for the flux to morph from whatever presets to the next, and vice versa, the off time, you know what I'm saying? So that's a very nice feature that they have on the HX1, Now, let's see the preset spectrum shift on the MercuryX. So again, this is what it sounds like with just the Hog 2 and the Male 9. Right, and I'm actually using the orchestra setting on the Male 9 to get that string sound. And I'm using just so you have a reference, this is what the Hog 2 sounds like by itself. Almost like a very mellow organ type sound. But you combine that with the Male 9. And you get that sound. All right, so spectrum shift on the MercuryX. the MercuryX is that, first of all, didn't I tell that? First of all, the imaging of the MercuryX is insane. Now, the imaging on the Line 6 HX1 is really good, you know, especially compared to other things like the Plethora X1 or the Zoom MS-60B Plus. The reverb sound much bigger in the Line 6 HX1, especially this shimmer. You know, the pitch shifting is amazing, you know what I'm saying, on it. Now, I really like the shimmer on the Plethora X1 as well. Just for reference, I'm going to have to do it with EP, but just for a quick reference. Of course, you can shorten that. So, like, even there, you can hear that it doesn't sound quite as big as the you know, the actual. You know, and it's not just the tail, because you can add a nice tail. You can add an extremely long tail on the. But the imaging just doesn't surround you the same way. The same way on the even when I go with the extreme settings, it's like it's there, but it's like the HX1 is like here. Wow. The Meris one like surrounds you, like it's like it puts you literally, it's like a 3D imaging audibly, like, you know what I'm saying, it's like a 3D. It's hard to explain. It's like I'm hearing stuff all in the back of my head, and it feels like it's around you. Even when you freeze it, you see what I'm saying? Like, it still surrounds you. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the Cathedra algorithm on the HX1, which is, you know, one of my favorites. Along my absolute favorite algorithm on there is the Prism, you know, and that's just the largest reverb sound I've ever heard out of any pedal. But the HX1, some of my other favorites on here, you know, HX1, unfortunately, is going to come up off the board. You know, I just can use that slot for something else. The MercuryX also do delay if I needed to, so I don't really need the HX1 to do delays or any of that stuff. Modulations, I'm using the Enzo X, the phaser, the chorus, the flanger, tremolo, vibrato, all that stuff I'm using from the Enzo X, you know, so which is this one, the big gold pedal, which is made by the same company as the MercuryX, just because they're even those modulations are better than the ones in the HX1 as well. I'll probably do another video on that, but it's hard to beat these Mercury Series X pedals. This is another one of my favorites on the HX1, the particle verb. See if we do this without extra first. Let's put on some extreme settings. Just goes crazy. Less extreme setting. Bring this mix up a bit. That has a nice image to it as well. That's what I was saying. Like, it has, the HX1 definitely got some nice reverbs. I wouldn't lie to you guys, you know what I'm saying? That's the main reason why I decided to keep it for a while before I got the MercuryX. The reverbs and the delay. I primarily was using it as a reverb pedal just because all the reverbs in the HX1 do sound good. Like, none of them sound bad or sound unusable or anything like that. It's just that the MercuryX has like a real leg up when it comes to stuff like that. This is one of my custom patches I created, the Negus tape shift. You even getting delay in there. Because in the pre-delay section of the MercuryX, you can then have it feedback into itself and create a feedback loop, which is all a delay pedal is. And not only that, you get a, if you put it on magnetic, you turn it into a tape delay. So some of the advantages. Now let's talk about price real quick. First of all, the fact that I can just freeze the delay portion, I can freeze my dry signal, I can freeze the reverb portion, just depending on where I put in the dynamic section, wherever I put that freeze, that dynamic section, in the signal path is where it's gonna be. I can have it on just the pre of the, you know, of all the effects, and not on my dry signal if I wanted to. So, but do you hear how you can just turn it into a freeze pedal as well? This is crazy. Like it's ending up replacing so many pedals on my pedal board. Between, you know, like it definitely took the MXR layers off. So, you know, the MercuryX definitely is no joke when it comes to, yes, it is $600, and yes, it is twice as much as the HX1, but you're getting way higher quality, even individual effects. Even if I turned off everything else and just used the reverb, the MercuryX is gonna win. Like, it just is. Even with it only having 6 different algorithms, the flexibility of those algorithms, and just the way those algorithms actually sound. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me while y'all hanging out with me. I appreciate all y'all. Beautiful. And I can't even create anything close to that with the HX1. Now, the HX1 is $300. Let's talk about why the price difference is. The $300 is a lot for a pedal that only does one effect. I'm just not going to lie to you, one effect at a time. No, it doesn't do one effect. It does 200 effects. But out of those for bass with the HX1, you're only going to be using, for bass, you might use that Noble preamp. It's not really an end-all be-all. You'd be better off getting a ToneX 1 if that's your purpose for using it. The modulation-wise, if you're going for modulations, you might as well get an MS-70 CDR Plus. You know what I'm saying? That'll cover you better than the HX1, and those are cheaper. It's cheaper too. You know, you're talking about like $120 versus paying $300, and you still with the MS-70 CDR Plus. While the reverbs aren't as good, the delays are just as good, and the modulation section is better. And you get compressors, and you get others. You get a wide variety of things in the MS-70 CDR. You just don't get amp models, which you don't get in the HX1 either. You still do get some bass preamps because you got an exciter and things like that in there, but the HX1 is a little pricey for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, the multi-stomp does 6 effects at a time. So, you know, you can spend your money however you would like. You know, the Plethora X1, that's really good because it's giving you authentic TC electronic effects. It's not emulating anything like the HX1. A lot of their modulation emulations are kind of off, while the Zoom ones are spot on. You know what I'm saying? So the drive section, I like the drive section in the Meris pedals better. I like the op amp and the tube and the transistor drives in the Enzo X and the MercuryX. So I don't really, it's like, it's hard to say that at any way the HX1 really is going to beat one of these Meris pedals, even as a single effects unit. Like, even individual effects will win. So, and you don't have as big a variety, but you have what you need. So check out this one. I'm gonna use the Hog 2 as a envelope shaper and just use it as a swell, really. So yeah, what's going on, folks? Appreciate y'all chiming in. What's going on? Well, all my other pedals are back here off to the side. Let me what's going on, folks? Appreciate you chiming in. What's going on? Yeah, the other pedals they're right there. I got them up on the keyboard stand on that Terra 42. I just put all my pedals I'm not using over there. And if you're interested, I do have a store on Reverb where pedals I'm not using anymore are going to be sold. Like, I got a bunch of, well, not a bunch. I got about 3 MXR pedals I'm selling. MXR bass, the bass filter, the envelope filter, MXR layers, and MXR poly blue. Selling the Zoom MS-60B plus, you know. What else we got back there? Eden WTD, WTDI preamp. Debating on if I'm selling my Blurst as well. You know, so. Well, you'd have to explain what a cloud reverb is in particular. I'm not familiar with that term. I know you got stuff like the big sky. Like, you talking about like a big sky type of sound? Yeah, I just did it. I just did one like this. Yeah, I just did a bunch of sounds like that. First of all, the MercuryX is better than the Big Sky. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if you notice, most of the guys that were using the Big Sky switched to the Meris MercuryX. All right, so let's go back to the HX1 real quick. I like this dynamic bloom as well. Take this off. But yeah, the Meris can do anything, you know, the same, similar. I mean, it's hard to get exactly those same exact reverbs, because, to be honest, when you make them on the Meris, on the MercuryX, you're gonna like them more. So it's just like, it's not it's the sound quality of the MercuryX that really sets it apart, not just the functionality of it too. I'll bring this K up and Now, I will will say one thing I really do like about the listen to the decay times that you can do. You can do decay times up to infinity with these. Let me see if I can create like a freeze effect with it. So hold this one. Let's put it off. So with it off, I want it around. Have the decay around like 3 seconds. And then I'm gonna have it go to infinity for the freeze. So yeah, I can kind of use it like a freeze pedal. If I have it go a little faster. So if I have it go a little, oh man, I always hit the wrong button on this HX1. Let me set that up again. So bam. Say that. Right. Oh, we'll save it. So now, we're just kind of use it like a freeze pedal. Right. So say we want to play. Kind of freezes it. My only concern would be every time I play a note, it's gonna want to hold it. Did it again. There you go. Yeah, so I can't work around that with the HX1. But fortunately, with the, as you've heard, with the I can absolutely just freeze it, whatever reverb I want, and play over it and still have the reverb. And like still have all the effects still rolling while they're still separately affecting the freeze pedal. So that's just crazy. And actually that one uses the pre-delay. This one uses the actual freeze setting. And it'll just hold that. And I can bring that up in the mix if I wanted to, but it's set to where when I play stuff, I can still play over it and I'm not like competing with it, but it's still really ambient. So it's there. Like if I do that, you can still hear it, but when I go to solo, So other main differences between the MercuryX and the HX1 when it comes to this. You can have a bunch of presets set up with entire chains on the MercuryX. What's going on? Appreciate the usual suspects stopping by, showing the channel some love as usual. Appreciate y'all. But just the flexibility, man. The flexibility is a game changer. Let's do a hall shootout. This is the dynamic hall. Bring it up to about 30%. Typically, for most sounds, like for most of your bread and butter sounds, like say you were doing like just regular tracks or vocals or something like that, typically you'll keep that reverb like 8%, 7% of the mix. Like I'm talking about like 92% dry, 8% wet. Like, you know, that's somewhere around there to maybe 10 to 12, depending on what track you're doing or whatever you're working on, whether it be bass or keys or whatever. That typically is your good, like a cue. Like if I'm just running my bass sound, I just want a natural reverb, that's around closer to it. While when I want more ambient sounds, I can go anywhere from up to like 30, 40% at times of the sound. So, you know, when you do that with parts that are this is just like a really big room. And that is the HX1. Like I said, it got some good stuff in there. Like, don't sleep. And everybody know that's watched this channel for a while. If a pedal ain't right, I ain't about to say it's right just to please nobody. You know, especially if I spend my money for it. It's a raps. Like, you know, you need to. If I spend my money, it's getting super honest. Even if I don't spend my money, it's getting a super honest review. If the MercuryX was trash, I just would say it. If the Enzo X was trash, I just would say it. But these are the most valuable pedals to me musically that I've run across in the last few years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a game changer the same way then Hog 2 was a game changer. You know, the Future Impact V4 VIP was a game changer for me. The Mel 9 was a game changer. The ToneX 1 was another game changer. And the Empress, you know what I'm saying? All were game changer pedals. That's why they're on this pedal board. You know, the MXR bass synth, I use that for a different reason. You know, it's also like my go octave pedal, and got a few other sounds I use. But if I really want vintage Moog ARP 2600 sounds, I'm going with a Future Impact. All my synth and pads and stuff, and like, you know, futuristic, like new sounding bass synths, Enzo X, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, these type of pedals, what I look for in the pedals is the flexibility and the ability for it to work in a bunch of different situations, especially because these pedals aren't cheap. The HX1 is $300. It's only going to give you one effect at a time. So you can only put it in one place in your pedal board if you're running in stereo. Excuse me. If you're running in stereo, so it's not like I can use it here and use it as the octave pedal and have use of any of my other effects. You know what I'm saying? If I put it here, I gotta use it in a way that makes sense there, which is pretty much either some sort of modulation or delay. So that's where I run into a problem with it compared to the Meris pedals, because I can do more than one effect at a time with them, and all the effects sections are good. I got way more flexibility just keeping them right where they are, like the that's stupid. That sounds really good. As I said, the HX1, the reverbs are great. Like the reverbs are great. That sounds really good. Now, let's come over here. I'm gonna go to a hall. Let's see if I got a hall ready. Here's a medium-sized hall. Let's see if they got a large hall. Here it is. How big, how massive that sounds. Let me see. Let me try to get similar settings on here with both of them, since they're both these. I'm gonna turn off the other effects on the MercuryX. So we won't be needing any of the pre-delay section. Won't use any of that. We're gonna use the 78 Hall. Let's see what we got here. We're gonna do this about, let's say, do that around there. Let's go with, we'll put them both at like medium, halfway diffusion. Let's see what we got with the dampener. We'll go with just a little bit of dampening on the MercuryX. See, we put it on the pedal view. Sorry about that. On the actual MercuryX here. You actually have an EQ for this hall. So I can boost the mids. I can cut the mids out. I can boost the lows. Take them out. Boost the highs. You also could change no tank mod. And let's make sure everything else is off. No dynamic section, no preamp section, no filter, no pitch, no mod, 100%. And the Meris pedal always maintains your analog bass signal in the dry. had to swap out a cable there. But yeah, so you can get a really, with both of them. And just like with the HX1, you can set the Meris MercuryX to, morph between settings as well with the hold modifier switch. So, and you can set the time of the attack of it and the decay, meaning you can the on time and off time in HX1 terms. As well as you have a lot of the same parameters actually on this preset. On the HX1, you got decay, pre-delay size, diffusion, dampening mix, motion, low frequency, and then low frequency gain, low cut, high cut, and level. And then your parameters for your switch here, for the flux switch. So, the big reverb. So it's got something to it there. I like that. Then the Meris come in and it just like surrounds you. So, I quite like it, the Mercury one, MercuryX, even there. But like I said, that dynamic hall on the HX1 does sound good. This is not a does the HX1 sound good or not video, because the HX1's reverbs sound great. They sound better, like I said, than the ones on the TC Electronic Plethora X1 or the Zoom MS-60B Plus, in my opinion. But when it's trying to step up to the big boy, the MercuryX, it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else we got. Yeah, those are pretty much my favorite reverbs on the HX1. The MercuryX definitely has it down to a science. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is the room, 78 room on the Mercury. Let's see what that sound like with a little. Let's get a little better mix there. And Let me turn on this noise gate. And let me turn on the global cabinets on the ToneX one. Oh, it's already on. Okay. Good. We're going to put a compressor on it. Slow attack. Fast. Please run that parallel. Turning a few things off here. Let's just do this. All reverb. We're going to do all reverb there, and then we'll use the mix knob. Let's see what we got here. Got this. That's a nice room. Let me find a room real quick on the. Let's go dynamic room. Gonna use that dynamic room on this. Let's try to get a decent sound on here. It's like the Meris pedal does a better job at, because there's so many ways to mix the sound, including just straight up having your dry signal, like your straight up analog dry signal, like that joint's. Really lets that ToneX. Like even when you're hearing it now, without, it just sounds like you put it in a room. So really nice sounding. Let's see, that was the MercuryX, and this is that was actually the 78 room. This is the dynamic room on the HX1. See, it's like somehow with the HX1, my dry sound is just a little less. One is affecting the brightness of it, and it just doesn't sound exactly like my bass. So it's like it's doing, it does have a buffered bypass, and so does the MercuryX and the Enzo X. All of those have buffered bypass in stereo mode, but at the same time, it's like, what's that extra coloring that I'm getting on the HX1 versus the MercuryX? Actually, I think I got I don't remember what I got the HX1 in. Let me see. No, it's a true bypass, but when it's on, it's definitely coloring. Let me actually, I knew I did. Let me take that off. I forgot I put that on it because that's helping out. The fact that I can do little things like have compression on there, like the compressor link, which is a stereo compressor, full stereo compressor in the MercuryX, and you got two different types of them. One that compresses both sides the exact same, and then the compressor link compresses each side separately. Same thing with the limiter and the limiter link. But and it just sounds really good to me, in particular. And the fact that you could finish your whole sound with the MercuryX, whether it's bass, keys, synth, saxophone, clarinet, flute, trombone, tuba. No matter what you play, the MercuryX is like a must-have for your keyboard, or not just for your keyboard, for your must-have for your musical reverb needs. You know. So even with using it with synths like the Enzo X, that's the HX1. So, they both have a good variety of just reverb. Like if you just want to use the MercuryX as a reverb pedal, it absolutely does that. And I recommend that you actually kind of start there, like turn everything else off, and just start with the reverbs if that's what you really after, or that's what you really want to understand how to use. The cool thing about the HX1 is they do update new effects at times, like they did add that Noble preamp in there, and they have these the reverbs are really cool and they're really good. The Mercury X's are great, so it's just a matter of your budget and how often you use reverb, and because it's for me, HX1's reverbs are amazing, but they're not $300 amazing. I'm just gonna be real. Like if I'm gonna use one effect at a time like that, it needs to be. I just don't really like these one effect pedals at a time. I think they're cool in terms of you can get that one effect, but ultimately what you end up using it for is one thing, like literally the one thing, like reverb, you know what I'm saying, in this particular case. Or, you know, I might use the analog flanger on there, but that's the only other thing I really use, reverbs, delays, and that analog flanger, and that's it. Compared to the MercuryX, I use every single thing in there. Like, there isn't anything in there that's useless to me or doesn't sound good enough for me to come up with an idea to use it for. Even, you know, and like I said before, I like the shimmer on the HX1. You know, that's cool. But is it this? That absolutely sounds like the angels. Take them up to the angels right now. I'm calling the angels right now. And you can just freeze it. All that lusciousness. You can just freeze it. What's going on? Appreciate you chiming in, my man. My man Porch Base come through as usual. Usual suspects showing up. See what we got here. Yeah, I've tried the H9 Eventide effects. I didn't try the pedals. I tried them on the plugins. You know what I'm saying? They're great. They just, I'm not for the Eventide stuff costs too much. Like, come on now. Like, people complaining about the MercuryX being $600. Like, they running the H90 is $900. You literally just could throw another $300 with it and get the Enzo X and the MercuryX for that price. But, you know, the Eventide stuff, the H9, if you can catch one used at a reasonable price, then yeah. But even still, it's just like the HX1. It's only one effect at a time. The H90 does two of their algorithms at a time, which is better. But for me, the stuff I like to do, the MercuryX, or even if you're going for delays, the LVX. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm probably going to get an LVX at some point because they are just the stuff, the flexibility of what they allow you to do, along with the modifiers and expression pedals stuff, it just makes it really invaluable. Yeah, $900 for that H90 is insane. Like, they definitely could have did better than that. Come on now, they could have did better than that. For $900, no thank you. No thank you. Almost a stack for two effects at a time. Nah, it's not gonna work. Plus, I do like their I will say, like, I don't like any reverbs better than the MercuryX, and I'm not BSing y'all. I'm not putting y'all on. I'm not just hyping it up. I know y'all. You hear YouTubers say, "Oh, this is the greatest thing. This is the best thing." You hear us say that all the time. Say us. You know what I'm saying? Because, well, I don't just say everything great, but, you know, I do, the pedals I really, really like. You know what I'm saying? I do say they're great a lot. But I don't, I can't say that I've heard any reverb that made me want to buy it or have it more than even when I was hearing other YouTube videos. The MercuryX sounds good in everybody's hands. It don't even have to play nothing. Point proven. So, and it's just going to replace so many pedals. It like I said, it didn't replace. My deep freeze might come back just because I like the way the deep freeze particularly sounds. In a way, the deep freeze actually colors your sound as well when it's freezing it, versus the regular freeze didn't. You know, and it has that auto mode, which I really like. So that might find its way back on my pedal board. But the MXR layers, right, has that freeze effect. You know, they call the layers, you can layer up to 3 different freezes at a time, which for me doesn't really do anything for me because now all I'm doing is just layering chord voicings on top of chord voicings, which I don't really need to do there. But, you know, it's a nice little effect. But if you're using it as a single freeze pedal, it has the delay, chorus, tremolo, and diffusion settings on there, so you can change all that. And it is in stereo, but the same sounds I'm ultimately going for with the MXR layers, I have to have other pedals with. While the freeze sound I'm going for with the MercuryX is the same as the MXR layers. It's just I have control over what I'm freezing and what part of things I'm freezing. So I can freeze the dry sound or the pre-processed sound. I can freeze the feedback loop section. I can freeze the pre-tank section, meaning after it goes through the feedback loop, right before it gets to the reverb, I can freeze that, which is different than freezing the feedback loop. And I can also freeze the overall reverb. So it makes things spectacular. Let me see. Let me switch to some other stuff. Just beautiful stuff like that. This is the sound without it. This is all the Enzo X is doing. Just the oscillators. I think some modulation, filter. No modulation. So that's literally just the oscillator and filter from the Enzo X, the 2 oscillators. And I also have the expression pedal of the Enzo X to change the release and attack of the envelope and the attack of the filter. So out of that one same sound, I'm just changing the expression pedal. All right, so that's the only thing coming from the Enzo X. That swirl vibrato is amazing. First of all, I gotta see how they doing that. That's a stock preset. This is the only pedal I've ever run across, other than the Enzo X. Meris pedals are the only ones I've ever run across where the presets were as good as things I would create myself. You know, one of the reasons I started creating preset packs is because a lot of the presets that will come with different pedals would just be terrible. I'm not gonna lie. off attack. Okay. Mod speed. Okay. He did that by, let me see what they put on the modulation. Yep. So it starts out normal, and then it swells into the vibrato. This is vibrato swell. HX1. Stuff. Like, that's dumb. That's dumb. And pretty much you could turn it on and off, the mix of it, with the whole modifier. That's just affecting the mix. I think that's a flanger. Oh, that's the vowel mod, which is a format filter. Now I will say one of the best things that you can do is learn how to use the mix knob on the MercuryX, especially with the presets. Some of the presets are meant to really show off the actual reverb sounds. So if you really want those to be usable, the mix knob around, 8 to 15% normally would be fine. If you want a bigger reverb, 20 to 30. But I have some sounds where I'm using 100% wet. So rules are never rules in music. They're just suggestions. You know what I'm saying? This is the preset Shimmer Lake. It's just the space and the imaging of it that makes it really nice for me. HX1. And to be fair, this is how most reverbs sound image-wise. Like, appreciate you. Appreciate you hanging out while you could. Thank you. See you next time, yeah. Oh. So, I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, searchlights. This is another one I like. I actually have a searchlight setting. Where is it? Spotlight. Just the ridiculous stuff it does to sounds. This is the same sound as before. This foolishness. What is this? Mind you, I don't have any, I'm not pressing anything other than I'm holding the modifier switch on and it's just freezing it. Which sounds great when you layer stuff like that with EP. Find out how they're doing that little jittery sound. because like I said, this is a preset. This is Night Wave number 27. I'm still, even though I've created, hundreds of sounds with these Meris Series X pedals, the Enzo X, and between the Enzo X and the MercuryX at this point, I've done a couple hundred sounds, and I'm still finding new exciting things. As much stuff and much I know about pedals and synths at this point, still learning new tips and tricks from the presets. Like, I know how I can get that sound right there. I need that. What is that attached to? It's got to be the envelope. Yeah, the envelope is attached to the mod speed. So when I hit a note, fresh note, it always going to give me that same mod action there. And the whole modifier is attached to the freeze on that. And that's actually a tremolo. Tremolo on sine wave. On sine wave shape. Sine wave. Yeah. And so what the envelope is doing on the actual tremolo is the last thing you're hearing in the signal chain, so it's in post. And the fastest speed is around 9.8 hertz, right? It's a faster speed. Normally for vibrato, I like my vibrato around 4 or 5 hertz. And if I want something to oscillate really slow, I'm looking at like 0.4 hertz. Like when I want something to oscillate really slowly, like a filter or a chorus. And in that case, in the chorus case, I'll use more depth. Slower speed, more depth, more speed, less depth. Typically, like I said, these are not rules. They are suggestions, and suggestions should not always be taken in every situation. But that's crazy. That tremolo going nasty. This is with the Ultra Plate Reverb. That's the only thing about with these long, if you want that to move faster, you just would bring the decay down. Same sound. This is how much this joint, what other reverb pedal is going to transform your sound that much? Come on. Like, there isn't any other reverb pedals that do that. Like, change your complete sound. Like, not just add the reverb and all that good stuff, but the entire sound. Here's without the EP. That filter's nasty. That filter's nasty. Oh, this joint's stupid. That's nasty. That's what I'm saying. You just be full of surprises with this joint. You always got something new on there. You always got something. Oh, I turned it off. Notice the filter's only on the reverb. I mean, only on the delay, not the reverb. So that's got to be in the feedback loop. Let me check. See if I'm right. Bam, I'm right. You put the filter in the feedback loop. The feedback loop is only going to be the delay. And as you can hear, the reverb actually has an octave up on it as well. Is that from the pitch? Yep. So you got pitch there. So which reverb is this? No. So this is the cathedral reverb. So you still got that reverb there. That's sickening. Let me see what else they did to the filter right there. Because you can't just put the filter in there. You got to put it with a modifier to make it do something. You know what I'm saying? So they got the ladder filter there. It's of course, in the pre-tank position, along with in the feedback loop, while the pitch, micro pitch, let's see what they got on the modifiers. They have, on the LFO-A, they have the filter frequency, of course. And on the second LFO, LFO-B, they have the pre-delay half speed, which is why you hear it changing pitches up and down. Then they have, on the modifier, they have that attached to the pre-delay half speed as well. So it's like now the LFO and the whole modifier's parameters are combined together, and they're kind of doing like interacting kind of weird. hear it's acting normal on the LFO, but when you disrupt it with that hold modifier trying to make it stay still, the LFO is trying to move it. Get all those weird glitchy type things going on. Also, in the pitch section, you can use the micro shift in the pitch section to get that detune, nice, really wide detune. And you can have two different, you can have left and right detune separately. So, yeah. Of course, the MercuryX really shines way above anything else in that's market, you know. I haven't heard any of the other reverb pedals that can do everything, and with that sound quality, and not only with the sound quality with the reverb, where the individual effects are all usable and sound amazing. Like, they all sound amazing. The reason why it doesn't have such as variety, like a bunch of choruses, a bunch of flanges, because it really don't need all that. It's what's in there is really good. Like, it's amazing, like all of it. So, including the modifiers and the way you can have things interact, just like you're hearing there. That's definitely one of them things you would just stumble upon. Like, you would have been just changing some parameters and stuff and assigning stuff and had something pressed down and you heard it start doing it. Oh, that's nice. And keep that. That happens to me all the time with this pedal. So definitely tons of stuff in there to keep you inspired and keep you productive. Like, it's not even a bunch of just sounds like you know, sometimes you get pedals and it's like you spend a lot of time trying to dial in stuff and it still sounds like a toy or still don't sound the way. The payoff for the MercuryX is insane. Like, I've never had a pedal be so, like, making presets be so satisfying, you know. So definitely, if you have the budget, I would go with the MercuryX. If you don't got the budget and you really on a budget, just get you a Zoom MS-60B Plus and let that hold you over until you can get you something like a MercuryX. You know, that way you don't spend a bunch of money, keep buying reverb pedals after another. You know, you get you the, you know what I'm saying, top of the line spaceship of reverb pedals, you know what I'm saying, and then go from there. All right. So this has been another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. I am the Bass Negus. I definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You can find me on all social media at the Bass Negus. And if you can hit that like button and subscribe before you go, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, Cash App, Super Chat, all that is welcome as well. And if you want to buy any of my presets for these various pedals, you can find them on the Patreon. Shout out to all the Patreon subscribers. I definitely appreciate you guys. But, you know, you get Future Impact V4 VIP, the Enzo X. You got 11 different preamp packs for the ToneX 1. These preset packs for the Zoom MS-60B Plus, the MS-70CDR Plus, the Zoom B6, you know, as well as the C4 synth. All that stuff is on the Patreon, as well as I'll be coming out with some new packs this upcoming week. I'm gonna get a bunch of new ToneX packs coming out, and I'll have a MercuryX pack coming out soon as well. So You'll have access to all that stuff on the Patreon. So make sure you sign up on there. If you want to support the channel, you can do that on there as well. But I greatly appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Once again, I thank you guys for hanging with me.